All right. Welcome to another Bible study that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in this body of Yahshua. My name is Esaac ben Israel, and I'm the elder priest of the United Congregation of Israel. And I'm joined here by one of our fellow priests, Priest Mikhael. Shalom, my brother.
Shalom, elder.
All right. So we're going to get into a few things here, and one of them, actually, you completely ready for. I know you wear a necklace, and one of the questions was a question on jewelry and pendants. Should we wear or shouldn't we? This individual says, I remember having a cross years ago and my initial C. I was considering finding a lion of some sort, but looking at Genesis 49, a wolf could be appropriate as well. Am I looking too far into this, or am I tripping? And would you have any suggestions? Now, all of us used to have a cross at some point, because that was the thing to have before we knew anything. But then there's levels even to the cross, because at first I had a cross, but then I went a little bit deeper and had a cross with the man on it. All right. Now see, we on a totally different level at that point with that right there. But that wasn't really taught as far as what that was and what it actually represented. So we're gonna have to get into a little bit about the idol itself, because what we're doing at a point when we don't fully go into it, you're trying to figure out which animals or objects are okay. So then you start going down the animal object line, and we kind of miss a whole nother line looking at what things might be acceptable. So the first thing I want to do is let's go to Genesis chapter 41, because when we talk about just the whole setup of what Yahweh has, you're gonna find that the same type of setup is throughout the earth, from people who don't even worship Yahweh. So Genesis chapter 41, and start at verse 37. Now this is Yosef coming to power in Egypt, and you still have to understand that Yahweh is still in control no matter the particular situation and circumstance. All right, go ahead.
And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such a one as this is, a man in whom the spirit of Elohim is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as Elohim had showed you all this, there is none so discreet and wise as you are. You shall be over my house, and according unto your word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than you.
So we're talking about the individual grabbed from prison is now second in command in the greatest kingdom on earth. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set you over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck.
So we have right here at this point that he has authority. He is given certain things. He has a ring on his hand. He just got a gold chain put about his neck, and now something else finna happen. This is how you know that all these people black, right? Cause you find we do the same. Soon as we get them, when we know we got something going on, we get a ring, We get a gold chain, and then we get this next one right here. Go ahead.
And he made him to ride in the second chariot.
He gave him a ride. All right, so he got a ring, a chain, and a ride right off the rip because of the authority. Now, people are then going to see this and know that he's a man of authority. We don't understand that how one presents themselves says whether or not you have authority or not. So we have been given a culture that encourages us to dress like hoodlums. So they automatically look and say, oh, he don't have any authority. Hey, look, his pants hanging off him. Look, he has no authority. Oh, look at her. Oh, yeah, she deserves no respect. Look at her. We don't understand. What, did they have some kind of Egyptian Facebook? How they gonna know? They gonna know when they see him. Ain't that Pharaoh chariot right there? Yeah. Is that Pharaoh? Did he just get out of Pharaoh? Man, that dude just got out of jail. But I don't know where he just got out of. I know he just got out of that chariot though. I know he just got out of that chariot. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna leave him alone because we just saw the ride he just stepped out of. So we automatically have something there. All right, and there is a connection. Now, here it is, Yahweh is doing this, right? And how we know? This is Pharaoh. He first of all gave him this dream. He is the one bringing all of this to light. And then it comes out, okay, he is given the power. He's given the chain and the ring. All right, let's go to Ezekiel chapter 16 for a second. Ezekiel 16, start at verse 8.
Now, when I passed by you and looked upon you, behold, your time was the time of love.
Now, this is Yahweh talking about Israel. Okay, go ahead.
And I spread my skirt over you and covered your nakedness. Yea, I swear unto you and entered into a covenant with you, said the Adonai Yah, and you became mine. Then I washed you with water. Yea, I thoroughly washed away your blood from you and anointed you with oil. I clothed you also with broidered work, and shod you with badger skin, and I girded you about with fine linen, and I covered you with silk.
And now wait a minute. So Yahweh is giving Israel authority, and he changes the clothing. He changes how they are presented. He said you was uncovered and your nakedness was there. When he gives you authority and he gives you a place. Wait, you can't dress like that no more. Now you're going to have to cover that. Go ahead.
I decked you also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon your hands, and a chain on your neck.
Wait a minute. What Yahweh said? I put a chain on your neck. Soon as this man gets into power in Egypt, Yahweh makes sure he get a chain on his neck. So we're automatic. There's certain things that we have thoughts about that because we saw them on rap videos, we think that's where it comes from. So we then think that our desire to have certain things is because Run DMC had the Dookie rope. See, we think, that's why I want the big rope because DMC had one. So now that's our thought process. Let's go to Exodus chapter 28. Exodus 28, and let's start this at verse 1.
And take you unto you Aaron your brother, and his sons with him, from among the children of Israel, that you may minister unto me in the priest's office, even Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, Aaron's sons. And you shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother for glory and for beauty.
So these holy garments have two purposes. One is for glory. The other is for beauty. Now, wait a minute. Glory and beauty? Okay, so there's a little bit more. You know what we pick out an outfit? You know we're just picking up an outfit for beauty, right? We forget about the glory part. We don't really understand the glory part. We just say, you know what, this looks nice. We don't care what all it's showing. We don't care what all it may be leading to. Is it beauty? All right, get this. Yahweh said for glory and for beauty. So when you have two reasons at hand, they help to balance one another off. Because you may look at something and say, oh my God, this is beautiful. But the glory part of it went down. Wait a minute, no, I can't get that one. And then you look at another one and say, man, I look glorious in this, but good God, that's ugly. So now you trying to find something that, wait a minute, I need to balance these scales off right here. I need to make sure that this fits within what Yahweh likes for glory and for beauty. Go ahead.
And you shall speak unto all that are wise-hearted, whom I filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they may make Aaron's garment to consecrate him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office.
But you know, we have to also understand who's deciding what beauty is. So Yahweh has a standard of beauty, but have we been watching commercials that's telling us something else is beautiful? So even when we go after something for glory and for beauty, we have then substituted his beauty for something else. Go ahead.
You know, Elder, they got a saying, beauty in the eye of the beholder. Kind of changed the definition.
You're right. And we watch that along the ways as we start getting presented with other images. All of a sudden you watch everybody start trying to become this image. This is why they say, you know, Hollywood can be so dangerous that people are attempting to look a certain way and they are absolutely killing themselves. You look, and so many of these people have had surgeries that then they have to, they get older and have to have another surgery to undo the other surgeries. Why? Because an image of beauty was given. And now you have everyone or a lot of individuals trying to follow that image as if there's only one standard of beauty. Go ahead.
Exodus 28, verse 3. And you shall speak unto all that are wise-hearted. Verse 4. And these are the garments which they shall make, a breastplate and an ephod, and a robe, and a broidered coat, a mitre, and a girdle. And they shall make holy garments for Aaron, your brother, and his sons, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office.
All right, now understand the mitre is a head covering. Yahweh said it is glorious and it is beautiful. But when you walk out to one of the megaphone Hebrews, they're going to ask you, why your head covered? So your answer should first be for glory and beauty. What's wrong? Why your head ain't covered? Because you're unglorious and unbeautiful. That's your doing. Yahweh said this right here. So the next time somebody asks you why your head covered, say for glory and for beauty. Go ahead.
And they shall take gold and blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen. And they shall make the ephod of gold, of blue, and of purple, of scarlet, and fine twine linen, with cunning work.
Now, you know what's interesting? How somebody can go in this book and they read the same thing we read. They read a mitre, all they heard was purple. Now, all that we just read, all they heard was purple. Now, it's other colors in there, first of all, but somehow all they heard was purple. Now, apparently they heard the gold.
Yeah.
They heard purple and gold. Okay, go ahead.
And it shall have the two shoulder pieces thereof joined at the two edges thereof, and so it shall be joined together. And the curious girdle of the ephod, which is upon it, shall be the same, according to the work thereof, even of gold, of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. And you shall take 2 onyx stones, and grave on them the names of the children of Israel.
Now, understand now, at this point, Yahweh decking out his covering, all right? So now, he finna jewel this thing up, all right? Go ahead.
6 of their names on one stone, and the other 6 names of the rest on the other stone, according to their birth, with the work of an engraver in stone, like the engravings of a signet. Shall you engrave the 2 stones with the names of the children of Israel? You shall make them to be set in ouches of gold.
Okay, all right, now he about to make them stand out right here now. So now we talk about glory and for beauty now. Okay, so Yahweh said, look here, y'all gonna have authority. Y'all gonna come through here looking different. So they gonna know that you different when you come through. Go ahead.
And you shall put the 2 stones upon the shoulders of the ephod for stones of memorial unto the children of Israel. And Aaron shall bear their names before Yahweh upon his 2 shoulders for a memorial. And you shall make ouches of gold, and 2 chains of pure gold at the ends.
I'm sorry, 2 what?
Chains.
All right, so it's blinging now. A lot of times when we ask, all right, should I even do certain things, because we have been given the images in another way, we don't consider even the desire of certain things to be righteous. Go ahead.
Of wreathen work shall you make them, and fasten the wreathen chains to the ouches. And you shall make the breastplate of judgment with cunning work. After the work of the ephod you shall make it, of gold, of blue, and of purple, and of scarlet, and of fine twined linen shall you make it. 4 square it shall be, being doubled. A span shall be the length thereof, and a span shall be the breadth thereof. And you shall set in the settings of stones, even 4 rows of stones. The first row shall be a sardius, a topaz, and a carbuncle. This shall be the first row.
Wait a minute. Now he finna bling on a whole. This about to be magnanimous. All right, he blinging on a magnanimous scale right now. All right, he getting several types of stones here. Okay, go ahead.
And the second row shall be an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond.
Wait a minute, man. Come on now. Come on. Go ahead.
In the third row, a ligure, an agate, and an amethyst. The fourth row, a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. They shall be set in gold in their enclosing.
So all these set in gold, you have these stones. Today we have, this is my birthstone. We have all kind of things like that. Wait a minute. Yeah, Yahweh got stones for the 12 tribes of Israel. And this man that's going to be the priest is going to represent all of that, represent the tribes of Israel with their names on what he got on. Go ahead.
And the stones shall be with the 12 names of the children of Israel, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet. Every one with his name shall they be, according to the 12 tribes. And you shall make upon the breastplates chains at the end of the wreathen work of pure gold. And you shall make upon the breastplate 2 rings of gold, and shall put the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. And you shall put the 2 wreathen chains of gold in the 2 rings which are on the ends of the breastplate. And the other 2 ends of the 2 wreathen chains you shall fasten in the 2 ouches, and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod before it. And you shall make 2 rings of gold, and you shall put them upon the 2 ends of the breastplate in the border thereof, which is in the side of the ephod inward.
Now, when we on Sunday morning when we saw Pastor Blingin, we just thought he was doing something. Now wait a minute, looked like he might have read something. Now before he went to the jury stuff. All right. So some of that bling had a little something to it. Go ahead.
And 2 other rings of gold you shall make, and shall put them on the 2 sides of the ephod underneath, towards the forepart thereof, over against the other coupling thereof, above the curious girdle of the ephod.
Now, where of course all of these things got lost, if you go back, it said a robe. The robe disappeared. And you back up. It wasn't just the choir in the robe. The pastor had on a robe. All the robes disappeared. You have these things. So this man was layered with clothing here. Okay, there's something on top of something. But nowadays the robe is gone so that everybody can see the suit. And if the robe was there, guess what? The loins would have stayed covered. They would have been covered all the way down. But because they took the robe off, now they got their shirt tucked in, breaking a whole nother statute. See, we don't even consider the levels of that. So we want to first go into that. Now let's go into Isaiah chapter 65. Isaiah 65, and we want to start at verse 17, because one of the statements says, I was thinking about getting a lion, or, I also heard that, a wolf. All right. So let's read that. Isaiah 65 and start at verse 17.
For, behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. Be you glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing, and her a people a joy. And I will rejoice in Jerusalem, and joy in my people. Mm-hmm. And the voice of weeping shall be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying. There shall be no more thence an infant of days, nor an old man that had not filled his days. For the child shall die 100 years old. But the sinner, being 100 years old, shall be accursed. Mm-hmm. And they shall build houses and inhabit them. And they shall plant vineyards and eat the fruit of them. They shall not build and another inhabit. They shall not plant and another eat. For as the days of a tree are the days of my people, and mine elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands. They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth for trouble, for they are the seed of the blessed of Yahweh, and their offspring with them. And it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear.
Isn't that the same thing? Wasn't that Daniel? As soon as his supplication started, he was like, I already sent somebody to deal with that. But they were withheld. They had to fight to get to you. He said on the day he started praying, hey man, go take care of that. Go ahead.
The wolf and the lamb shall feed together, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock, and the dust shall be the serpent's meat. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, says Yah.
All right. Now, one of the things that we also look at, we imagine this. It says, they shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain. We kind of consider that, that's going to be all over the earth. But what if that just, what if that just his place? So we say, hey, the wolf and the lamb shall feed, the lion shall eat straw like the bullock. Dust shall be the serpent's meat. The dust shall be the serpent's meat. It ain't even hunting. But what if you go outside somewhere else and decide you're going to ride a lion, but it still eat? That may not turn out good for you. So here we go, the wolf and the lamb. We got a picture at the front door. The lion and the lamb. Yep. So you talking about these images. Now the question comes to be, what are you doing with the image? So instead of looking at whether this animal is acceptable or this animal, because we find that Yahweh used things for representation, but what are we going to use that? Let's go to Exodus chapter 20, because we need to get a little bit in depth of what the original situation is. What is he talking about at this point? Exodus chapter 20, and let's start at verse 1.
And Elohim spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh your Elohim, which have brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make unto you any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
So if we just take one line by itself, if we just deal with verse 4, then we're not supposed to make any images. You shall not make unto you any graven image. Wait a minute, a drawing can be an image. A graven image, they just carving this out of wood or stone. Wait a minute. Now are we forbidden from making images? You can't take verse 4 without verse 3. You shall have no other gods before me. Connect that with the very next line. You shall not make unto you any graven image. Wait a minute. That's a graven image in respect of having any gods before him. Because remember now, we got a temple. Shlomo carved all kind of stuff on this temple. He got lions. He got all kind of animals. Wait a minute. Why y'all didn't set that on fire? Matter of fact, then he turned around and prayed. Anybody who prayed toward this house, grant their supplication. Wait a minute. There was images on there. But what's the difference in the image and its purpose? And see, sometimes we can get fooled about the purpose of an image and end up getting ourselves into something. Go ahead.
You should not bow down yourself to them, nor serve them. For I am Yahweh your Elohim, am a jealous Elohim.
Wait a minute. So now we see what the jealousy is about. Wait a minute. I seen you bow to them. I seen you do other things in regards to this image. Now this image has been put on a different playing field. Now you've activated his jealousy. But understand, it's something that he made. He made the lion. He made, the pomegranate. He made those things. But then you put those things on equal footing with him. Go ahead.
Therein lies kind of Christianity, the difference between Christianity and what we're dealing with here. We deal with the book according to what is written and follow this, try to follow the best to the spirit. And when Christianity get it, they kind of twisted in the way they gave us images, images of man, which we're discussing now, the cross, and the other things that have been written throughout time, and they just took it and just flipped the way that we deal with the things that we're giving to the children of Israel.
Brother, I was just talking to somebody about you can know something and still have to fight what it has created in your mind. once we got the understanding of, this word, and we get to reading, and we find out the image that was given to us for Jesus wasn't real. Mm-hmm. Now, I knew it. I researched it. But when I closed my eyes, I kept seeing Jesus. That same dude, Festivus, the one with the long permed hair and the stretched out arms. Come, my child. I kept seeing this when I closed my eyes. To stop seeing the false image, I had to close my eyes until it got out of my head. Then I could close my eyes again. So it had been there so long that it came out in steps. It didn't just come out. And a lot of times we want stuff to just come out from Monday to Tuesday. But when you look at how long something was in there, sometimes you got to seek that out. So, and I couldn't figure out. I'm educated. I know what this is. I know it's not what I thought it was before, but why can't I get this image out of my head? And that was an idol. And I'm going to show you that here in a second. Keep reading that.
Visiting the lawlessness of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
All right. So then when we are dealing with this image of not creating, he's talking about making these things in respect to who he is, and then putting the glory of Elohim in that thing and saying, all right, I carved this image of what we think is an angel, and then go and kiss the feet of the angel, saying that the angel did such and such. Oh, now Yahweh got a problem. Yahweh got a problem, because now you have put his power and his glory on that particular thing. Now, go to Revelation chapter 1. Now, see, when I say that the image of Jesus, and this is what we walked around, we had this cross with the man. Yep. hanging on our neck. We get the gold chain and then put Jesus on it. All right. Revelation chapter 1 and start at verse 9.
I, Yohanan, who also am your brother and companion in tribulation and in the kingdom and patience of Yahshua the Mashiach, was in the isle that is called Patmos, for the word of Elohim and for the testimony of Yahshua the Mashiach. I was in the spirit on the Adonai's day, and heard behind me a great voice, as of a trumpet, saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. And what you see, write in a book, and send it unto the 7 churches which are in Asia, unto Ephesus, and unto Smyrna, and unto Pergamos, and unto Thyatira, and unto Sardis, and unto Philadelphia, and unto Laodicea. And I turned to see the voice that spake with me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
All right, so the little heading says vision of the Son of Man. It says, and in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man. Go ahead.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
Wait a minute. Those things that they were saying, give unto Moshe, to Aaron, make sure that he have these things for glory and for beauty. Wait a minute. He covered all the way down to the foot. See, now we don't want to hear nothing about that. Wait a minute. But we talking about glory and for beauty. This is how he is clothed. Keep going.
His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burnt in a furnace.
This is how I know that the image that they gave us of Jesus is false. He never had black feet.
Not that I've seen.
I ain't never seen white Jesus black feet. Never. It said his feet were like fine brass. That's antique brass, which is not this color. It's more almost like the colors on the inside of this shofar. It's darker, as if it burned in a furnace. This is what his feet look like. So why every image that they gave us was of a Gentile? Now I can tell you that now that has become an idol to people, because they see that image and they automatically feel like, oh, this is holy. But because of what I read in this book, I know that image is a graven image. They just engraved it in my mind. See, there's other graven images that we have to get out. See, we fight the graven images that we know, but there are graven images from your past that have been cut into your mind that's got to be removed. And they causing you issues just like this. Some of these cause you issues spiritually. These other things may cause us issues in our relationships, because they have been graven in our minds and they have been erased, but they ain't erased in our mind. Go ahead.
And his voice as the sound of many waters. And he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth with a sharp 2-edged sword. And his countenance was as the sun shines in his strength. And when I saw him, I fell at his feet as dead. And he laid his right hand upon me, saying unto me, fear not, I am the first and the last.
All right, that's enough. Let's go to Revelation chapter 4. And people tell you, see, I don't deal with, especially you have some Hebrews who won't deal with the New Testament at all. And you have some people that won't deal with the Bible. They say, this white man wrote this book. That's a book of the white man. Well, he sure didn't take out the black feet part. I tell you that. He must have been sleeping that day. White man must have took white nap, because he forgot to take out the black feet. He forgot to take out the black feet. So I don't know what's happening right there. Revelation chapter 4, and let's start this at verse 1.
After this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven, and the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, which said, come up hither, and I will show you things which must be hereafter. And immediately I was in the Spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne.
All right, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. All right, so what does the one that's sitting on the throne look like? Go ahead.
And he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone.
Wait a minute. Now we got to look up a jasper and a sardine stone. Now we coming up with reddish brown. We got a deep color here. Wait a minute. Now we got a problem. That don't look like the image of Jesus either. And this is New Testament. So clearly, if there was something that was going to be changed, this was the latest books that were given. Why it's not in here like that? So now we have the graven images that we can hold in our hand, but the ones that's going to do us the most damage, they're not holdable. The biggest graven images are inside. Because of that graven image that is in the mind of men, when they actually see the one who sits on the throne, they might throw rocks at him, because they don't think he's real. They have given more power to the graven image. They spent more time with the graven image, though. So you have to consider that. They spent all of this time with the graven image. Now here come the real image of Elohim, and they don't accept it. And they not sad. If they don't have or spend any time with this, they're not even going to have any knowledge that they're fighting against the real one that sits on the throne. They are going to feel justified because they have spent all of this time dealing with the image inside. So you blessed if Yahweh starts bringing you out so you can start pulling pieces of that graven image out of you before the day you got to stand before something and you don't recognize it because that image was blinding your view. I think that's as far as I want to go right there. Let's go to Genesis chapter 1. Start at verse 23.
And the evening and the morning were the 5th day. And Elohim said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle, and the creeping thing, and the beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And Elohim made the beast of the earth after his kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creeps upon the earth after his kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. So Elohim created man in his own image. In the image of Elohim created he him, male and female created he them.
So man was already created in the image of Elohim. So for the image that was created to create an image, we got a problem. Then you're going to create an image of things that you were supposed to have dominion over. So wait a minute. So Yahweh create man in his image. So you a God, little g. All right, don't ever think you a God, big G. All right, you're going to be, I don't care if you a gray head and you still a little g. All right, don't ever think you big G. All right, so you a God, little g. You're supposed to have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl, but you have then made an image and then bow down and worship the things that you were supposed to rule over. Now imagine Yahweh, are you kidding me? Wait a minute, that ain't little me, is it? Is that little me? No, I created little me right now, so don't tell me Junior. Is out worshiping what I told me Junior to rule over. Come on, man, come on now, y'all got to be tripping. Please tell me Junior not doing this. So you got to understand, if he created us in his image, what is he looking at? He's looking at an image of him bowing down to an image that he's supposed to rule over. Oh, he hot. Oh, he is absolutely, and he's on the second level of hot. We ain't figured that out yet. We think he mad for one thing. No, you the image of him. So you representing him, and this is what you're doing? Okay, go ahead.
Verse 28, and Elohim blessed them, and Elohim said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth.
All right, so that's all I want to do right there. Let's go to Exodus chapter 34. See, before we just get into what can be acceptable, there's some other things that we have to deal with. Instead of just trying to figure out, can we use this? Can we use that? We got to figure out what are we putting as far as the power. What kind of power are we putting in that thing? And sometimes you unknowingly put power into something. Sometimes you unknowingly idolize something. And you don't know that, we don't go around saying I idolize something, but Yahweh is going to watch our actions and he's going to watch how we move. And he said, well, wait a minute. Now, when I wanted you to do such and such, you was busy. But I watched, when this situation happened, I watched you jump right up and run across town. Okay, that's peculiar. You know, I wanted you to do something. You told me, you know what, you didn't feel good. I watched another situation. You were coughing and phlegm was running out your head. And you went right there with a snot rag and went on that. Well, wait a minute. His jealousy getting activated. Wait a minute. I'm witnessing all the things that I have asked you to do, and I'm looking at you not only doing them, but you're doing them and they ain't even asked you to. Now, our images and idols being created unknowingly. Go ahead.
Exodus 34, where you want to start at?
Let's go, start at verse 10.
And he said, behold, I make a covenant before all your people. I will do marvels, such as have not been done in all the earth, nor in any nation. And all the people among which you are shall see the work of Yahweh. For it is a terrible thing that I will do with you. Observe you that which I command you this day. Behold, I drive out before you the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite. Take heed to yourself, lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither you go, lest it be for a snare in the midst of you. But you shall destroy their altars, break down their images, and cut down their groves.
Wait a minute, groves just trees. But they worship with these trees. See, we talking about the same thing that they do with their Christmas trees. Wait a minute, Yahweh made a tree. So is it about, saying, what if I put a maple tree around my neck? What the hell is the power you putting in that maple tree? See, is it the thing or what we're putting into that thing? All these things that we're reading of, he made. They're his. But once these individuals have put the power of their worship, he said, no, don't bring that in my house. Because I don't want to get confused, and I don't want anybody to get confused and thinking that they come into that other God house when they come to mine. So don't put that in my house. Go ahead.
For you shall worship no other God, for Yahweh, whose name is jealous,
here we go again.
Is a jealous Elohim.
Here we go again. We're talking about what causes the issue. Go ahead.
Lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they go a-whoring after their gods, and do sacrifice unto their gods, and one call you, and you eat of his sacrifice.
When you get right down to it, Yahweh is just seeking love from that which he created. And his jealousy is activated when he sees when it gives more attention or greater attention elsewhere. But he did say he created man in his image, right? Okay. So at some point, we should be able to feel them same emotions. Go ahead.
And you take of their daughters unto your sons, and their daughters go a-whoring after their gods, and make your sons go a-whoring after their gods. You shall make you no molten gods. The feast of unleavened bread shall you keep 7 days.
All right, that's as far as I want to go right there. Jump to, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 12. So he's very pinpoint when it comes down to the worship practices and places where they deal with other gods. So there are certain situations we may have to deal with something, and I tell people, all right, you deal with that, and then you you bounce. But what we do, we got to hang around for the after party. Why you hang around for the after party for? Don't you know that way everybody gets shot anyway? All right, take care of your business. People say, well, I got to go to a funeral and I got to go, you know what I'm saying, it's a close relative and it's going to be, you know, at this place. All right, so you got to go to this place because this is how your folks going to pay respect to this individual that passed. All right, you got to take care of that business. Now, what was you hanging around at afterwards for? Okay, you was over there eating and shucking. What was you eating and shucking for? You finished the event, right? Why are you still there? Okay, go ahead. Deuteronomy chapter 12 and start at verse 1.
These are the statutes and judgments which you shall observe to do in the land, which Yahweh your Elohim of your fathers give you to possess it, all the days that you live upon the earth. You shall utterly destroy all the places wherein the nations which you shall possess serve their gods, upon the high mountains and upon the hills and under every green tree. And you shall throw down their altars and break their pillars, and burn their groves with fire.
Burn their groves with fire. You know what they did with that particular image that they were creating? No, he wanted gone. Go ahead.
And you shall hew down the graven images of their gods and destroy the names of them out of that place. You shall not do so unto Yahweh your Elohim, but unto the place which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose out of all your tribes to put his name there, even unto this habitation shall you seek, and thither you shall come, and thither you shall bring your burnt offerings, and your sacrifices, and your tithes, and your heave offerings of your hand, and your vows, and your freewill offerings, and the firstlings of your herds and of your flocks.
All right, so it should definitely be, what is he saying? All right, when you deal with the places where the nations serve their gods, you need to knock that all down. But all the firstlings, the first of your fruit, your offering, you bring that into Yahweh's house. Wait a minute. He wants to see, it should be a very great difference between how you deal with him and how you deal with everything else. And that's essentially what he's describing in every last bit of this. What do you think we did to defile the Sabbath? You have some people who won't do anything on the Sabbath. And people say, okay, they respect the Sabbath. Okay. You have other individuals that say every day is holy. Wait a minute. They said, look, we'll worship on Saturday and Sunday. So now they said they're going to catch, they're going to catch both gods right here. So they said, we're going to keep Saturday and Sunday. All right, now you keep both of them. You just made Sunday equal with Saturday. You just took the Sabbath day, which is set apart. All right, he put that over here. But now you took Sunday and pushed it over here too. The whole part about showing honor unto him is there being a difference in how you deal with him versus how you deal with everything else. That is where the glory and the honor is. So once they decided to just make Sunday the worship day, it wasn't even no more. Because they go out and party on Saturday and they come and put on their Sunday best for Sunday morning. Wait a minute. So on Yahweh's Sabbath day, they made ladies' night free before 10. Wait a minute. So Yahweh on the Sabbath and you get holy a couple of hours later on Sunday morning. What? So then automatically he looking at the difference. Okay, I saw you on my Sabbath and how you were dressed. Then I looked at, oh, look at you. I mean, you sure got sharp. Then you dress up nice. I couldn't tell that last night, but you dress up nice. that is automatically a difference in what we have portrayed and don't understand why he's angry. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And there you shall eat before Yahweh your Elohim, and you shall rejoice in that you have put your hands unto, you and your household, wherein Yahweh your Elohim had blessed you. You shall not do after all the things that you do here this day, every man whatsoever is right in his own eyes. For you are not as you come to the rest and to the inheritance which Yahweh your Elohim gives you. But when you go over Jordan and dwell in the land which Yahweh your Elohim gives you to inherit, and when he gives you rest from all your enemies round about, so that you dwell in safety, then there shall be a place which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose to cause his name to dwell there. Mm-hmm. Thither shall you bring all that I command you, your burnt offerings and your sacrifices, your tithes and your heave offerings of your hand, and all your choice vows which you vow unto Yah.
All right, so then imagine. Yahweh said there should be a place. But then he looked and he saw you, wait a minute, he saw you partying somewhere else. And he saw you brought a whole lot of stuff for this party. Then he looked and he said, wait a minute, you didn't bring 2 chicken wings to my house. I saw you getting steak. I saw you getting drink, all kinds of drink. Look at what you got going on. His jealousy has been activated. And we don't even see that whatsoever. We won't even think he see that. We don't even think that comes. But he says, he didn't just say he's jealous. He said whose name is jealous. Go ahead.
And you shall rejoice before Yahweh your Elohim, you and your sons and your daughters and your men servants.
Wait a minute. You shall rejoice. He said, why you ain't part of my house? Why you was down there? I went down, I saw you down at Lucifer house. I heard the music from the hills. I heard y'all was cutting the rug down there. But why you ain't come to my house? Go ahead.
And your maidservants, and the Levite that is within your gates, for as much as he has no part in your inheritance with you. Take heed to yourself that you offer not your burnt offerings in every place that you see.
That you offer not your burnt offering in every place. He has an issue with that. But now let's get more into the situation of these animals. I want to go to Genesis chapter 3. So then when we start looking at, there's clearly some things that I would not, get whether they were gold or not. I wouldn't deal with them. But we do have to ask a all-around question, all right? Because there are certain things that we would just automatically perceive in our minds this would not be so, all right? So Genesis chapter 3, start at verse 1.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh had made.
In other words, it was slick. All right? It had a certain way about it that it moved, and it moved in a cunning fashion. So then that makes it good for something concerning deception. Go ahead.
And he said unto the woman, yea, had Elohim said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
Now, the question, would anybody think that a serpent could be any kind of image in a good way? When we hear about the serpent is the epitome of deception. It is what's used when deception enters the book itself. When deception comes in, the serpent is the one who activates this deception. All right? So there's no way that we would ever think of using anything of that nature. But let's see what Yahweh did. Numbers chapter 21. Numbers 21 and started at verse 4.
And they journeyed from the Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea to compass the land of Edom. And the soul of the people was much discouraged because of the way. And the people spake against Elohim and against Moshe. Wherefore have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread, neither is there any water, and our soul loathed this life bread.
Right. They did not want the stuff that Elohim brought unto them. They wanted the things that they had in captivity. They said, we had fish and leeks. We had all kind of stuff, man. We got out here. Ain't no water. And then you giving us this light bread. We don't want this. Let us go back into bondage because bondage was better than what you giving us here. Go ahead.
And Yahweh sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died.
Now, wait a minute. This step 2. You already got a serpent brought in the whole part of deception. Now you have a serpent coming in and biting the people. Keep going.
Therefore the people came to Moshe and said, we have sinned.
You know what? And this is what causes us our issue. You know when we realize we have sinned? When we get bit.
Mm-hmm.
But then we get mad when we get bit. But we don't acknowledge anything that we've done until we get bit. Go ahead.
For we have spoken against Yahweh and against you. Pray unto Yahweh that he take away the serpents from us. And Moshe prayed for the people.
So they have to go to the very individual that they were speaking against to get the serpent taken away. Go ahead.
And Yahweh said unto Moshe, make you a fiery serpent and set it upon a pole.
To this day, this is the representation of medicine. A serpent on a pole. You look on an ambulance, you're going to see a serpent on a pole. So here it is. Keep going.
And it shall come to pass that everyone that is bitten, when he looks upon it, shall live.
Mm-hmm.
And Moshe made a serpent of brass and put it upon a pole. And it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he beheld the serpent of brass, he lived.
Now, knowing that the serpent was what deception was brought in with, why would Yahweh even use that? Now, you know, it's now we know that it's levels 2 why, but if we're going to deal with the whole part of image, why would he deal with that being that we know what this serpent did coming into this whole scenario?
No, that's a good question, priest. Maybe we are people that love a lie because it makes us feel good.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he made us look upon the serpent because we love a lie.
Hey,
that made us feel good.
And you have to look at some. The serpent most definitely strikes with its mouth. Mm-hmm. And they had been biting at Yahweh and Moshe with their mouth. So now he makes them look in the eyes of what they were doing. So in other words, I need you to acknowledge that you've been a snake right now. Once you acknowledge that you've been a snake, I hear you. But not until you acknowledge it. This goes deep. So this still though, would one ever want to use a snake as a representation of something? Let's go to Genesis chapter 49. Genesis 49, let's start this at verse 1.
And Yaakov called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
Mm-hmm.
Gather yourselves together, and hear, you sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity.
Check this out now. Excellency of dignity. Go ahead.
And the excellency of power.
Excellency of power. Go ahead.
Unstable as water.
Crazy as kitty litter.
You shall not excel, because when you went up unto your father's bed, then defilest you it. He went up to my couch.
Wait a minute. But excellency of dignity, excellency of power, but unstable as water. Go ahead.
Simeon and Levi are your brother. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. O my soul, come not you into their secret, unto their assembly. Mine honor, be not you united. For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down a wall.
Now understand, now the children of Israel, we come from these foundations. So we got tribes of excellency of dignity and excellency of power, but unstable as water. Because it just water takes the form of whatever it's in. Whatever it encounter, it changes its form again to get through it. Simeon and Levi are instruments of cruelty. This is the stock of what we come from. Go ahead.
Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob, and scatter them in Israel.
They are so dangerous together that they have to be separated. Go ahead.
Yehuda, you are he whom your brother shall praise. Your hand shall be in the neck of your enemies. Your father's children shall bow down before you. Yehuda is a lion's whelp.
So when you start getting why you have a lion as acceptable, Yeshua comes from the tribe of Yehuda. What did they turn around and say? Here is the lion of the tribe of Yehuda. Okay, so you automatically see what that lion represents. Go ahead.
From the prey, my son, you are gone up. He stooped down. He crouched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? The scepter shall not depart from Yehuda, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Binding his foal unto the vine, and his ass coat unto the choice vine. He washed his garment in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes.
Right. So then when you see him coming in on this coat, you understand what's happening here. There's fulfilling. He says he's come to fulfill the things that are written of him. Go ahead.
His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be a haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon. Issachar is a strong ass crouching down between two burdens. And he saw that rest was good, and the land it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel.
All right, so Dan shall judge his people. Go ahead.
Dan shall be a serpent by the way.
Wait a minute. The symbol for Dan is a serpent. Wait a minute. There's no way we would ever think that a serpent could be used in any positive manner. But it represents that tribe. So then the question is, what are we getting something for? More than what animal we are using or what image we're using, have you researched that animal and what is the significance of that animal? Go ahead.
An adder in the path that biteth the horse heels, so that his rider shall fall backwards. I have waited for your salvation, O Yah. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
Jump to verse 21.
Naphtali is a hind let loose. He gives goodly works.
Now, if you see these certain animals being portrayed, are these animals then graven images? Is Yahweh allowing graven images to be placed upon the hearts and minds of the people in dealing with this? See, these images are not representing Yahweh or any power thereof. See, here's where the difference lies. When it got to the serpent, they started worshiping the serpent on the pole, and they had to take it down. What happened? At first, it was healing them. Once they took the power of Elohim and put it in the serpent on the pole, it then had to be destroyed. Why? It then became an idol in their heart. Not that they had an idol on their neck, not that they had an idol on their wrist or their arm or something that you can touch. That became an idol in their heart. And then it had to be destroyed. Go ahead.
Verse 22. Yourself is a fruitful bow, even a fruitful bow by a well, whose branches run over the wall. The archers have sorely grieved him, and shot at him, and hated him. But his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty Elohim of Jacob. From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. Even by Elohim of the Father, who shall help you, and by the Almighty, who shall bless you with the blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that lies under, blessings of the breast and of the womb. The blessings of your father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors unto the utmost bound of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of yourself and on the crown of the head of him that was separate from his brothers. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf.
So then, the beginning was saying, I know that a wolf could be used. Do you know why a wolf could be used? Do you understand what is that wolf representing? Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. Understand, Benjamin is the war tribe. Wolves war in packs. They war as a team. They are fighters. They're not, as strong as the lion. But I tell you what, a wolf pack is absolutely horrible to deal with. You think that they are operating in disarray, and every last one of them have their role, and they know exactly what they're doing in this fight. So when you say that a wolf could be used, you need to understand why that would be, and then understand what would be your purpose for doing that. Okay? So that when any question comes to you, you can go and say, this is why I did this. I was telling some people I was watching some program, and Wycliffe is a preacher's son. And he had a lion, a big diamond something, and he was so-called explaining what it was. And he said, this lion represents the 12 tribes of Judah. I wanted to slap myself. 12 tribes of Judah? You ain't tell me you the preacher's son and you thought it was 12 tribes of one tribe? 12 tribes of Judah? See, if you're gonna have something, you need to understand the significance of what that is, lest you be accused of dealing with idol worship if you can't explain what that is for. So here it is. This man spent all of this money in something that he didn't even understand. There's no such thing as 12 tribes of Judah. So you spent $50,000-$60,000 on a pendant that you don't even know the explanation behind it. So it is imperative that we deal with that. But let's go to Ezekiel chapter 10, because things can get a whole lot stranger than that. And one of the reasons I want to mention that, because what if you encounter somebody and they have some of these things? Will we automatically accuse those people of having on some kind of graven image or an idol? Because they have something that we were not accustomed to? You know, we know a lion, we know a lamb, we know a wolf. What happens if they have something else different than that? Are they now worshiping the devil? And will we actually ask them a question, or will we already assume the answer? Will we ask, hey man, that's a nice charm you got on that necklace. Hey, what does it mean? Are we just gonna go, you see that on well, go ahead and say something. All right, Ezekiel chapter 10, and go ahead and start at verse 1.
Then I looked, and behold, in the firmament that was above the head of the cherubims, there appeared over them as it were a sapphire stone, as the appearance of the likeness of a throne. And he spake unto the man clothed with linen, and said, Go in between the wheels, even under the cherub, and fill your hand with the coals of fire from between the cherubs, and scatter them over the city. And he went in my sight. Now the cherubim stood on the right side of the house when the man went in, and the cloud filled the inner court. Then the glory of Yahweh went up from the cherub and stood over the threshold of the house. And the house was filled with the cloud, and the court was full of the brightness of Yahweh's glory. And the sound of the cherub wings was heard, even to the outer court, as the voice of the Almighty El when he speaks. And it came to pass that when he had commanded the man clothed with linen, saying, Take fire from between the wheels, from between the cherubs, then he went in and stood beside the wheels. And one cherub stretched forth his hand from between the cherubims unto the fire that was between the cherubims, and took thereof and put it into the hands of him that was clothed with the linen, who took it and went out.
Now, understand something. When we're talking about first of all, the difference in angels, when we deal with cherubs covering, they have wings to cover. They have a job. We, of course, didn't think that everything has wings. The adversary, the devil, was a covering cherub. All right? So, understand that. So then, when we see something with wings, do we automatically then connect that with the adversary, the devil, because these are the things that we've heard when it comes down to these images. Jump to verse 9.
And when I looked, behold, the four wheels by the cherubims, one wheel by one cherub, and another wheel by another cherub, and the appearance of the wheels was as the color of a beryl stone. And as for their appearances, they four had one likeness, and as if a wheel had been in the midst of a wheel.
Mm-hmm.
When they went up. When they went upon their four sides. They turned not as they went, but to the place whither they had looked, they followed it. They turned not as they went.
All right. So to even get the strangeness of this situation, we're talking about something that never has to turn. If it has a face north, south, east, west. Whichever way it goes, it will never do this. It will just go whichever way, and there's already a head facing that direction. This is how this moves. Go ahead.
Verse 12. And their whole body, and their backs, and their hands, and their wings, and the wheels were full of eyes round about, even the wheels that they four had. As for the wheels, it was cried unto them in my hearing, O will. And everyone had four faces. The first face was the face of a cherub. The second face was the face of a man. The third face was the face of a lion. And the fourth face was the face of an eagle.
All right. What if somebody had a necklace that had that on?
You been reading the book.
They gonna scare the hell out of a whole lot of people. People gonna run from him. Ain't none of the babies gonna want to be, but they gonna get the hell away from this guy. They're like, first of all, this dude had the weirdest necklace on I've ever seen in my life. What is this? Now, but hey, this a lot of stuff to be going on. This thing got a face on each side of it. And it's different. So will we see that and automatically say, man, this dude worship the devil? Or will we start asking, hey man, what is this? Because in our minds, we have a certain list of things that are acceptable. But these are images that Yahweh is bringing forth. These are images of creatures that he has made. These are images of creatures that have a job in his kingdom. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And the cherubims were lifted up. This is the living creature that I saw by the river of Chebar. And when the cherubims went, the wheels went by them. And when the cherubims lifted up their wings to mount up from the earth, the same wheels also turned not from beside them. When they stood, these stood. And when they were lifted up, these lifted up themselves also. For the spirit of the living creature was in them. Then the glory of Yahweh departed from off the threshold of the house and stood over the cherubims. And the cherubims lifted up their wings and mounted up from the earth in my sight. When they went out, the wheels also were beside them.
Now, we talking about wings. There was another part that said they had eyes all around about. Hey, that's going to be a weird looking something if somebody make one of those. But will that person be deemed as some idol worshiper if we see something like this? That's pretty interesting. Like I said, it ain't nothing I would do, but does that make it wrong if you encounter somebody with it? Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 14. And because those are the things that we're going to see, then that's what we're going to deal with when we get presented with something. When we see it, we're going to say, okay, this looks like, some form of a graven image. All right. Ezekiel chapter 14, and start at verse 1.
Then came certain of the elders of Israel unto me, and sat before me. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, these men have set up their idols in their hearts.
Wait a minute. They don't have anything on their neck. They don't have anything that outwardly says that they worship idols. He said these men have set up their idols in their heart. So now this is a problem that cannot be seen physically. It has to be felt spiritually by how one moves. Go ahead.
And put the stumbling block of their lawlessness before their face. Should I be inquired of at all by them?
Should I be inquired of at all by them? So they approach unto Elohim with an idol in their heart. Shall he be inquired of by them? Go ahead.
Therefore speak unto them, and say unto them, Thus says the Adonai Yah, every man of the house of Israel that sets up his idol in his heart, and put the stumbling block of his lawlessness before his face, and come to the prophet, I, Yahweh, will answer him that comes according to the multitude of his idols.
Wait a minute. So the answer that the individual is going to receive is going to come from Yahweh himself. He says, you got an idol in there. So when you come to me, the answer is going to be according to your idol. But they didn't have no graven image on them. But considering, how confusing this must be, that the answer is going to be according to the idol that is in your heart. Not the idol that was on your neck. Not the idol that was on your finger or on your wrist. He's going to answer you according to that idol that's in there. Now, we have been encouraged to deal with idols. We have been encouraged to take things on that we are respecting in such a way that it becomes an idol unto us. It will never be called idol per se. It will just be given to us in a way that it directs how we move. Go ahead.
Verse 5, that I may take the house of Israel in their own heart, because they are all estranged from me through their idols.
When you say estranged, this automatically sounds like a marital relationship. Wait a minute. Whenever you hear the word estranged, you don't hear it unless we're talking about some kind of division within a marital relationship. He said, no, that I may take the house of Israel in their own heart, because they are all estranged from me. Interesting. Go ahead.
Therefore, say unto the house of Israel, Thus says the Adonai Yah, repent, and turn yourselves from your idols, and turn away your faces from all your habitations. For every one of the house of Israel, or of the stranger that sojourns in Israel, which separates himself from me, and sets up his idols in his heart, and puts the stumbling block of his lawlessness before his face, and come to a prophet to inquire of him concerning me, I, Yahweh, will answer him by myself. I will set my face against that man, and will make him a sign and a proverb, and I will cut him off from the midst of my people, and you shall know that I am Yah. And if the prophet be deceived when he has spoken a thing, I, Yahweh, have deceived that prophet. I will stretch out my hand upon him, and will destroy him from the midst of my people Israel. And they shall bear the punishment of their lawlessness. The punishment of the prophet shall be even as the punishment of him that seeks unto him. That the house of Israel may go no more astray from me, neither be polluted any more with all their transgressions, but that they may be my people, and I may be the Elohim, said Yahweh Elohim.
Keep going.
The word of Yahweh came again to me, saying, Son of man, when the land sins against me by trespassing grievously, then I will stretch out my hand upon it.
Now, how much has to happen before it is accounted unto the land? So you have individuals in a place, but then he didn't say the individuals in the place, he said when the land. How much has to go on before it is collectively attributed to the entire place? Go ahead.
And will break the staff of the bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, They should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, said the Adonai Yah.
Though these three men were in it, when he get ready to break the staff of bread thereof and send famine upon it, they're only going to be able to save themselves. That's a pretty strong statement. Go ahead.
If I cause a noisome beast to pass through the land, and they spoil it, so that it be desolate, that no man pass through because of the beast, though these three men were in it, as I live, said the Adonai Yah, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters. They only shall be delivered, but the land shall be desolate.
Now, understand, though these three men were in it, as I live, says the Adonai Elohim, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters, even though they are your offspring, they are separate from you. The only thing that is you is that which you have joined in the covenant with. You notice he didn't say, saying they're not going to be able to say they were. Then now you got something totally different between that relationship, and this is why they are supposed to move on one accord, because when Yahweh deals with one, he's dealing with them in connection to the covenant, to the point that he don't even have to mention the way. It's automatically in there. When you dealt with the situation of Job, he said, I'll take down the hedge thereof and let me get to him. He said, all right, but you have to save his life. Ain't that time they talk about the woman? They mention that about your wife. It's automatically implied. When you can't kill him, you can't kill her. It's in there. Ain't got nothing to do with the kids, though. And those kids are offspring of this man. But that's a division. They have to learn to save themselves. That's pretty interesting. Go ahead.
Verse 17, or if I bring a sword upon that land, and I say, sword, go through the land, so that I may cut off man and beast from it, though these three men were in it, as I live, said the Adonai Yah, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters, but they only shall be delivered themselves. Or if I send a pestilence into the land, and pour out my fury upon it in blood, to cut off from it man and beast, though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it.
Now, we know we got some very interesting times coming to us, just being in the first 100 days of this presidency. We know that some strange things is got to be on its way from just the understanding that we're getting here. All right. Now, he says, if he bring it, you're only going to be able to save yourself. At some point, we have to be able to start. Hopefully, the children have watched enough to say, okay, I saw my daddy doing this. Okay, I saw my mama doing this. Because when it gets down to it, they're not going to be able to call out mama and daddy and be saved under the banner of their name. And we are so ready to be on our independent stroll, and we don't understand. All right, so you got a few dimes that you can put together and make $1. Congratulations. Are you spiritually prepared to defend yourself? That's a whole nother game. Go ahead.
As I live, said the Adonai Yah, they shall deliver neither son nor daughter. They shall but deliver their own souls by their righteousness. For thus says the Adonai Yah, how much more when I send my sore judgment upon Jerusalem, the sword and the famine, and the noisome beast, and the pestilence, to cut off from it man and beast. Yet, behold, therein shall be left a remnant that shall be brought forth, both sons and daughters. Behold, they shall come forth unto you, and you shall see their way and their doings, and shall be comforted concerning the evil that I have brought upon Jerusalem, even concerning all that I have brought upon it. And they shall comfort you. When you see their ways and their doings, you shall know that I have not done without cause all that I have done in it.
You will know that I have not done without cause. So a lot of times when we start feeling things, we believe that there's no cause in the problem. He said, look, I ain't done all this for no reason. Huh? Wait a minute, because you done forgot the reason, don't mean that this is done without a just cause. And it don't take us long to forget the reasons. Now, it's something else I want to deal with because we went into there. We got something about dealing with some of this that may be coming forward. So let's go to Exodus chapter 15. Because a part of this we have kind of gotten wooed with. And I don't know if you guys are paying attention to this outbreak of measles that they're talking about, and it started in a religious community. Okay? Now, it jumped out of the religious community of people who don't take jabs. And then those people went other places. And now they say that those people brought that to other people. I hope you understand. With this same situation under another king would mean one thing. But we got a different king. All right? It says the children of Israel were fine in Egypt. Then a new king. That's all it took. I don't think, we quite understanding what's happening here. A new king. Hey, and anybody who pass rules with the stroke of their pen and don't care that they have the majority, they ain't voted on jack. They done voted on one thing. Okay? He done sent forth 100 things and they voted on one. A king sends forth decrees with the stroke of a pen and his signet. And he don't ask nobody what they think, feel, or believe concerning what he just passed. And the individual called himself a king. Okay. So, Israel was fine in Egypt, but then a king arose who knew not the great things that Joseph has done. And now Israel becomes an enemy in the same land that they saved. The land was saved through Joseph. Okay? But now Joseph's people has become the enemy. Why? Because they said, these people, they got too much. These people have grown mightier than us. Okay, wait for a second. Certain groups of people have problems procreating. Our people were bred to procreate. All of the unnatural ways of slowing our multiplication down has not worked. So now more aggressive means have been sought for. That's why certain medical things of termination were outlawed. It was not about our people. It was about so that other people will build their numbers up. But then something has to happen because we will keep multiplying. Something has to happen to slow those individuals down. We get in the book, what happened? They said kill all the male children. We're gonna slow them down. We're gonna kill certain ones. The males will make more babies. Let's go ahead and kill them off. This is what's in the history of the book. So now we just got a new king in the place where on the back of the dollar their symbol is a pyramid with the all-seeing eye of an Egyptian god. And they just got another king. And all manner of laws are changing day by day, and they are completely against us. Things that we never thought we would see. So consider that, and then as we go into this next question, Exodus chapter 15, and I want you to start at verse 22.
So Moshe brought Israel from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur, and they went 3 days in the wilderness, and found no water. And when they came to Marah, they could not drink the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore, the name of it was called Marah. And the people murmured against Moshe, saying, what shall we drink?
It never will occur to us that there's some problems that we're going to encounter, and it's completely assigned by Yahweh. Anytime we encounter a problem, we automatically think, okay, somebody did something wrong. I must have did something wrong. We must have went left when we were supposed to go right. Somebody got to be wrong because there's problems here. Oh, no, Yahweh had this problem written down in his book. No, you finna come right here. It ain't going to be no water because I'm the one that stopped it. He the one turned off the faucet. So, but what happens right when we get to something at this point, now we're looking for somebody to blame for the problem. There's got to be somebody here's fault that we ain't got no water. And you know what? Moshe, you the head of this house.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hey, it's got to be you. It's got to be you. It can't be nobody but you. Go ahead.
And he cried unto Yahweh, and Yahweh showed him a tree.
Now, here is where we have to start understanding some things. He cried unto Yahweh. Yahweh showed him a tree. We're now getting into some herbal remedies. Understand now, one of the things that are being attacked right off the rip is medicinal things. Now, what happened if all of a sudden you can't get to some of these items? Yahweh just went herbal. Now, if we go back in the beginning when it says he created all of these things, he created herb for the service of man. Wait a minute, that's the medicine. So we may be entering into a place where, hey, we got to start getting those herb books again, looking at what does it look like in its normal form. I mean, I know what Tylenol look like, because it say Tylenol on it. Mm-hmm. What does something look like that will help you like Tylenol if it was growing in the grass? Now we're entering into a different time. Understand now, our forefathers knew this. At the same time we've been educated, we've also been dumbed down. Because we've been educated over there. We have a lot of education about that stuff, lack of understanding about this stuff. So then the remedies that our parents and grandparents had, those things are long gone. We don't even ask or want to know those things. But now we're entering into a time when we might have to depend on those very things. So Yahweh is not doing a magic trick. He didn't send no anointing oil. He didn't have him to pray over it. There is something that was already in the earth that can fix the bitter water problem. All he had to do was find out what it was. Go ahead.
Which, when he had cast it into the waters were made sweet. There he made for them a statute and an ordinance, and there he proved them.
He proved them through the problem that they were encountering. And we never think that a problem is meant to prove us. We think that a problem just need to get the hell on. That's what a problem need to do. Problem need to bust that left and get on out of town. He said, no. The problem is yours. No. The problem is to prove, what are you going to do? And you can't get no closer than man having to deal with not having clean water. So we may be getting to that point. In fact, I think we already passed that, where we're going to have to start entertaining some other methods in case all of the things that we normally have are not available. If you have certain medicinal things that you're having to take over and over, you might want to get a stock of that. And then you might want to research what may do this naturally. And start trying to put some of that together, at least you be caught off guard. I mean, when you hear talk of, it says, when you hear things of wars and rumors of wars, when somebody said they're going to take a country, hey, let me tell you something. I've heard somebody say they were going to take some Jordans. I ain't never heard nobody say, you know what, I think I'm going, I'm just going down there and take, I'm going to take this country, right? You going to take a country? How you take a country? I mean, ain't really pulled out no weapon, just said, look, this going to be ours.
Like your boy in the book say, because it was right next to his.
There it is.
He said,
and that's exactly what this sounds like. Look, you close enough to us, you might well be us. So we're gonna be up there on Thursday. What? That's the talk. That's king talk. That's not presidential talk. No president has ever spoken like that. King talks like that. So the man calls himself a king. The man is a king. The man doing king stuff. Declaring that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So we may need to start looking into these things immediately. Understand, when things changed for the children of Israel during the time of Joseph, they had to stack up food for what was going to happen. There was a spiritual, angelic, if you will, revelation. The revelation still didn't give them bread, though. They had to stack that bread on their own. See, we so busy talking about the revelation. No. What you gonna do after you get it? He said there's gonna be 7 years of plenty and then 7 years of famine. If you so busy dancing because you got the revelation, I tell you what you ain't doing. You ain't stacking no bread. So the revelation didn't do you no good. In those situations, they didn't run around panicking. They didn't run around doing all of those. They just operated according to the information that they received. So you do what you can do, and then you let Yahweh, our Elohim, do the rest. Because worrying about it ain't going to make it no better. But I tell you what, we can't be out here doing like... who's that? Lot's son and daughter-in-law. They thought he was one that mocked. You find the same thing with Noah. You find when somebody they were marrying, partying, and giving their sons into marriage, and then the problem happened. So, if we do nothing, then we have to ask ourselves, okay, well, you did not heed the warning. There's a part where when something happens, the watchman is sitting up on the top of the wall. He can see farther than you. When he blows the trumpet, this is why the book says, can there be a trumpet blown in the city and the people not be afraid? But then at the same time, he says to Ezekiel, I made you the trumpet. You the trumpet. Now you go talk and warn them from me. Wait a minute, what? So then the trumpet says what needs to be said, but is the warning listened to? He gives us some understanding about some things, and then what are we going to do about that? And once we do what we can do, then the rest we have to put in Yah's hand. We can't do all of it, but we can do what we can. All right. Well, that's all that we're going to do for tonight. Brother, would you lead us out in prayer, please?
Yes, sir. We're going to rise, face the east. All right. Our hearts and minds are ready. Our Father, Most High Covenant Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, Yaakov. Thank you, Father Yah, once again for giving us the breath of life, the health, the strength that you've given us, Father Yah. Thank you for allowing us to once again read out of the legacy in which you've given us, Father Yah, for redemption, Father Yah. Father Yah, as we read on our redemption, Father Yah, we ask that you continuously be with us as we navigate down this narrow path in which you paved out for us, Father Yah. Father Yah, we ask that you forgive us for our sins and the sins that we commit against each other, Father Yah. Father Yah, we ask that you also replenish our oils and our lamps as we go through these trying times, Father Yah. For the devil seeks to destroy us, Father Yah. He has given us lies throughout our past, Father Yah, that we must correct, Father Yah. There's things in which we must correct before that great day of judgment, Father Yah. And we pray that you will be patient with us, Father Yah, as we back our way into our culture, Father Yah. These things we were supposed to know, but we left those things aside to do the things of the world and follow after the world, Father Yah. These things we ask for your forgiveness in, Father Yah. We pray that we can come in and replenish our oil and our lamps in this place in which you have placed your name, Father Yah. These things and all things we ask according to your will and your ways, and through your holy and your only begotten Son, Yahshua HaMashiach, to whom you gave might, majesty, wisdom, honor, blessing, power, and dominion from henceforth and forevermore. Amen and hallelujah.